I'm back. All right. So I stuck my head in the shower and just turned it on cold. Cuz if I take a shower, I'd have to get in and then I'd have to dry myself off and then I'd have to put my clothing back on after taking my clothing off. And then I have to, like, you know, reapply my deodorant, and it's just like there's just so many steps involved, you know. If I just like dunk my head in the shower, it's like the classic 80-20 principle, right? Like I'm getting 80% of the payoff with 20% of the work, you know? All right, here we go, guys. This is it. Today's reveal, the Echo support cards. Let's get situated here. We've got some support cards. These are PNZ and Shurima cards. Echo, PNZ, confirmed as an archetype. Starting off with Boom, Baboon. 2 mana, 3/1. When I'm summoned, create a Flame Chompers in hand. Can you actually hear my Alexa just talking right now? She's gonna do that a lot. All right, this is actually kind of nuts. A 2 mana, 3/1 that creates a Flame Chompers in hand. Hello? In PNZ? All right, that's a little crazy. I will say it's really bizarre in an archetype like discard aggro. I mean, we'll have to see whether this will fit in, but I mean, presumably this will have some synergy with some of these cards as well. Glorious Evolution. The Victor card. 10 mana epic. Replace your cards everywhere with exact copies of themselves. They have -1 cost, augment, and they are now tech. All right, so this is a complete meme. I mean, it's a flavor thing, because this is Victor's arc in League of Legends. He basically, from what I've been told, he just wants to turn everything into like a cyborg version of itself. Obviously this card is kind of horrible, but it's a funny meme card. Don't play this card in an actual deck. Shifting Sands, a 6 mana slow speed Shurima card. Deal 4 to a unit. Summon 2 Sand Soldiers. It's interesting. I mean, at slow speed, I don't think you're gonna be able to see this card see play. We'll have to see. Treasure Seeker, 1 mana, 2/1. When I'm summoned, create a Waking Sands in hand. God, which one was Waking Sands? Wait a second. It's probably one of the ones that is that the 7 mana one? If I don't remember the name of it, it's something that we don't really see very often. Oh, it's the 5/2. Oh God. Oh no. Oh, that's, yeah, Waking Sands is the it's the summon a Sandstone Charger. 2 mana, summon the 5/2 Sandstone Charger. Ooh, well, I mean, it's a 1 mana 2/1 that generates a card in hand, and there's still just value in that, like especially if you're running anything with discard, or if you have any way to get value out of this card at all. At the end of the day, a lot of cards that felt like they would be bad but created a card in your hand are gonna be able to get some value. Then we've got The Time Has Come, 5 mana burst, summon a Clockling. If you've predicted this game, summon 2 instead. Isn't Clockling just the 2/2? Wait, what? All right, this one's confusing to me. There must be some kind of reason behind this card. For a 5 mana card, this has to do something. This has to have some interaction. This can't possibly make sense. 5 mana 4/4. Yeah, it's 5 mana 2/2s at burst speed, but that still doesn't make any sense. Let's look at the rest of the cards. There are more. Reaver's Row. When I count down, these are Bilgewater cards. Reaver's Row, 5 mana landmark. When I count down, summon a random 1 cost follower. And it's countdown 2, so 2 turns. Grant 1 cost allies +2/+1 and fearsome. So it's support for the 1 cost ally archetype. That's actually, it's a little bit scary, but I think it would just have to be too slow. This would basically trigger at the start of turn 7. And it would be kind of, you'd need something specific to count this down fast enough. Right? So you could run this, you could run like an all 1 cost deck. This would be a finisher. You might literally have to run Shurima just to be able to trigger this on turn, because you could run something like Time in a Bottle to trigger this on turn 5 instead of turn 7. Otherwise this would be really slow. Line them up. 2 mana, summon a Powder Keg, create a Knock 'em Down in hand, and Knock 'em Down is a 1 mana slow fleeting, deal 1 to anything. So it's like a parlay that doesn't have a retrigger. And summon a Powder Keg at burst speed. That's a very interesting interaction. We've never seen a burst speed keg before. There could be some like some weird stack implications there where you can like, you know, if the opponent like open attacks into this plus like Withering Whale, for example, that could be kind of crazy. Or if it's like a restack, like if you play like Vile Feast, your opponent plays something on the stack and then you use Lino up to summon a keg for your Vile Feast, there's just cute implications of summoning a keg at burst speed, right? We haven't seen that before. So that's pretty interesting. It's a worse Mystic IMO. So the thing about line him up and knock him down is that it does a lot of things that Mystic doesn't do. And yeah, I mean, you might call it worse than a Mystic overall, but Mystic is like the literal auto-include card of PNZ. Like, even if this is a bit worse than a Mystic overall, it can do some things Mystic can't do, and it's in Bilgewater. This really doesn't look bad. And then the last card is, oh god, it's an Elnuk. Oh my god. Oh my god. Volunteer Elnuk. A 3-mana 3/4 PNZ Elnuk. When I'm summoned, create a random Elnuk in the top 6 cards of your deck. Oh my god. Return of the Elnuks. Elnuks are back. A 3-mana 3/4 is pretty good. It's got a good stat line, dude. So people will try to resurrect Elnuk decks. It's been a very long time coming. For those of you guys who didn't have the glory of playing Legends of Runeterra over a year ago, before Bilgewater came out in the beta, Elnuks were actually competitive. Like, Ezreal Elnuks was one of the top decks, which sounds kind of unbelievable if you guys never experienced that for yourself. So yes, Volunteer Elnuk could be what Elnuks need to come back, right? Like, I mean, I don't think they'll be able to achieve those former states of glory, but honestly, I mean, this card is kind of spooky in a few ways, right? Like, if you just have a good critical mass of Elnuk, like Troop of Elnuks coming down and just summoning like 3 or 4 things is just kind of unfair when that happens. It's got a great starting stat line. You can play it from hand or you can pull it out, and either way, it'll give you something to pull out when you play your Troop of Elnuks later. And on top of that, it's also in PNZ, which is a good region for Elnuks to be in for, you know, just giving you more support for how this archetype works, giving you a bit more draw and stuff like that. So honestly, it's this definitely could actually work. I was talking about wanting to run Call of the Wild and Yetis. There's no possible way I could do a Yeti Elnuk deck. That would be terrible, right? That'd be horrible. There's no way. Jesus. It's summon instead of play as well. Yeah. Volunteer Elnuk is summon instead of play as well. So when you play Troop of Elnuks and Volunteer Elnuk gets pulled out, it'll create a random Elnuk in the top 6 cards of your deck. I don't think that'll allow it to chain Troop. I don't think Troop pulls out 1 at a time and then just keeps going. Otherwise, this would literally allow you to potentially just like chain more on the same exact Troop action. But for all we know, it could work like that. I mean, we don't know for sure. Overall, today's reveals are pretty interesting. I'm a little curious about the first set. Volunteer Elnuk is looking really not that bad. I mean, Elnuks, I don't know if they're going to be super competitive, but they're definitely going to be something that you can actually look at as a deck building concept for the first time since Troop of Elnuks got nerfed. This card used to search the top 10 cards in your deck. You guys remember that? Hang on. Wait a second. I need something from you guys. Who's got that clip of me getting Elnucked? I need to show you guys the context. Someone's got that clip. I know you guys do because you link it all the time. I need to show you guys who never experienced the Elnuk meta. I need to show you guys the context. Exclamation mark Elnuk? Why is it not exclamation mark Elnuk in chat? It should be. What the heck? Who's got the... Is it this? Is this match? Alright. I will show you guys right now what the meta used to be. It comes down to just like fundamentals and playing for good exchanges, which is actually pretty rare with control mirrors. But because... Hang on. One moment. I'm gonna have to have my face on the board. Look at this. Look at this old swim. Fucking is kind of how you beat this. You want the early pressure. Virgin 2020 swim. Going. So we'll get our Nuck on. We're gonna go ahead and pull 0 in this case. Do a Darius emote. He'll play Troop, and that'll pull like 4. We'll take a Snap Concede, and that's a very, very easy line. It's just not worth playing the game out when that happens. So that's I think that's a first. This matchup. So yeah, no, I shit you not. This was literally the meta. All right, so no, yeah, pretty much. So this was the Elnuk meta, the best meta of all time in in Legends of Runeterra. I missed the Elnuk meta. Yeah, me too. I honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I did develop a bit of Stockholm syndrome for that meta. Same shirt. Wait, was I wearing the same shirt? Oh shit, I was. I was. You can tell I was wearing my I'm Pickle Rick shirt in that fucking clip. Oh man, isn't it always embarrassing when you show up to a party and some guy has like the same shirt as you? All right, it all comes full circle. Yeah, same meta, same Elnuks, same shirt. Here we go, guys. So yeah, that's volunteer Elnuk. Honestly, it looks like there will definitely at least be an Elnuk deck. Who knows how good it'll be, but its high roll will be, yeah, that. Looks pretty nuts. All right, then we've got you know, Reaver's row, which I'm honestly, I like the idea of unseen archetypes getting more support. Bilgewater has always had this like one cost allies archetype. I think Reaver's row is probably going to be a little too slow. I don't expect this card to be able to properly support it, but it's a cool concept to try to deck build with anyway. Line them up in powder keg, or sorry, line them up and knock them down. Honestly, this one could actually end up surprising us, I think. I really do like these cards. I love that these cards are in the game. I'm actually really happy about line them up. I think that leaning more into powder kegs is a great way to help Bilgewater kind of like do what they want to do. And honestly, the fact that it gives you knock them down for free is actually pretty big. Like, this is kind of like a 3-mana slow Mystic Shot if you want it to be, but more importantly, it just gives you flexibility, right? Like, you can summon the powder keg to the stack, you can do some stuff with it, and you can, you know, use knock them down on a different target than you're abusing the keg with, right? So, looks pretty cute. Next, we've got just the final recap of the first cards. Boom Baboon looks pretty crazy. Discard aggro will, at the very least, be able to experiment with this card. The free Flame Chompers is just nuts. I think there might be ways of being able to use this in ways outside of discard aggro. I mean, just creating a free card in your hand in general is going to be good. I don't see the text. Yeah, I need to move my camera back. Thanks for reminding me. Yeah. So Boom Baboom looks pretty crazy. I don't even know if you want to run it in conventional discard aggro. Like that's a good place for it. But I could totally see it just being ran and like some forms of like PNZ Noxus that try to slow down a bit even. Like, you could try running it in, like, Ezreal Draven kind of decks, for example. I don't know if they'd be able to fit it in, but just being able to create free cards in your hand is always good. Glorious Evolution is a meme. Shifting Sands is too slow. And Treasure Seeker, like with Boom Baboom, just being able to play a cheap thing that creates a card in hand looks good. Honestly, though, I'm kind of confused about these 3 Shurima cards here. They look really weird. I mean, just, like, summoning these Sand Soldiers and summoning these Clocklings. They might have some kind of Echo synergy in some way. Who knows? Maybe Echo will have some kind of weird summon synergy that might make summoning these 2 Clocklings make sense. I have no idea. But these cards, without seeing any synergies, that maybe there will be synergies for these cards tomorrow, but they don't really look like they make sense to me. Like Shifting Sands and The Time Has Come are just kind of too overcosted for what they do. And Treasure Seeker would be really good if Waking Sands was a bit more playable. For the most part, though, I'm still pretty happy about the cards we got today. We got a lot of cool ones in this variety pack. All right, and I can't wait for Echo tomorrow. So for the rest of the day, we're gonna get into the deck building portion of this stream. Actually, first let's go over these cards a little bit more. What do you guys think? Any big synergies that I missed out on? Anything big that I'm underrating?